What's going on, fish nerds, and welcome back. I actually just got back from my local fish store. I bought some plants and I bought some new fish, and both are actually going into this 55-gallon behind me. Actually, a couple plants are going into the fish room. I'll show you that too. But before I can put the fish in this tank, I've got to get the cardinal tetras out of this tank. I showed you a couple videos ago that I was growing out some cardinal tetras in here temporarily. Well, I need to get them into a quarantine tank so that I can put the new fish that actually are going to stay in here in this tank. But before I can put these guys in quarantine, need to get this guy out of quarantine. Now I apologize, it's hard to see him through all this brown diatom algae. And get up close and you can look at him through the snail tracks where the snails have eaten all through here. Actually, there's only one ram's horn snail in here eating this stuff. But you remember we had this guy in here, this black angelfish, because he had some fungus problems whenever I first got him back from the guy who had him before me, and treated him for that. He does have some scar tissue on one of his fins that doesn't exactly look good. He's a feisty dude. He fights the water change, or the siphon tube, every time I do a water change, because he's a feisty fish. But you see he's got a little bit of scar tissue on the base of that fin. Don't worry, that's not actually any fungus or anything, that's just scar tissue. And he's got a few scales that never did grow back, but he is finally healthy again. So we're gonna move him into the 75-gallon, and we're gonna move those cardinal tetras into here to let them grow out here before we put them in the corner tank with Gil, the other angelfish, so that they don't get eaten. And that way we can get our new fish into the 55. Alright, so now that those guys are all moved around, I've got a plant that I'm going to put in here. I'm not going to try to pronounce it. This is what it is. I'll put the name up on the screen. You guys can pronounce it however you want. But this stuff will get super duper red under the right lighting and everything. So we're going to fill up this gap where the stargrass failed. We're going to put that there. And you can still see we're still dealing with a little bit of algae, but it is nothing like what it was. Got it all, well, not all, but it's far better than what it had been. So making big progress here, dealing with all this algae problem. But we're gonna go ahead and get this stuff planted back in here, and then we'll turn our new fish loose and show you what we got. Alright guys, so what we have here are 32 espei rasboras, or the lambchop rasboras. Now I do want more of these. My local fish store has been getting them in 20 to 30 at a time, and I told him I'm just going to keep coming back every weekend until I have as many as I feel like I need in this tank to have a really big school in here. This is a 55-gallon, so this can house a lot of these little nano fish. And just look how good the color is on these guys. Such a pretty little fish. They got that nice, it's really not even a copper color, but almost like a red metallic. It's so pretty. But these are the fish that I have been looking for, trying to find to get in this tank. I want to have about 60 to 70 of these guys in here. I think just a big school of them swimming in here, and you can already see the way they school back and forth across the tank like this together, and just swimming back and forth like that. It just looks really sharp, and I think the bigger the school gets, the prettier it's going to be. So I want to have about double the amount that I've got in here already. Like I said, there's 32 of them in here right now. And just look how pretty this guy is. It's really hard to focus on these little fish, but man, I'm loving it. Loving it, loving it, loving it. And you can see a lot of the Rotala where it melted back a whole lot. It's not really looking great in this corner, but we'll fix that as time goes on. I don't think I'm going to buy any more, but just as it gets taller, I'm going to cut it and plant it, cut it and plant it, and that'll fill back in just fine. But yeah, I'm really excited about these guys to finally have my hands on some. They proved to actually be a little bit hard to find and get a hold of, but very neat little fish. Great little nano fish. And that's kind of been my plan the whole time, is to just have a nice sized tank, you know, not necessarily even a huge tank, but a nice sized tank like this, and just have a bunch of nano fish in it. A lot of times we think of nano fish and we go with nano sized tanks, and you can do nano sized tanks with nano sized fish, but with a schooling fish like this, I think it's even so much better to just have a big school of them and give them room to swim around like this. I mean, I could just watch this all day. Just back and forth, back and forth. I love it. But now I did also promise to show you guys the new plants I got for out in the fish room. That's just a couple of Anubias, but I'm gonna go place those in the tank right now and show those off to you guys as well. So let's head on out to the fish room. All right, so this is our Hemichromis tank. Last time you saw this, I added these 3 Anubias and the Java fern here, the narrow leaf Java fern, and a few of these Nerite snails. And you can see all over that back glass, all over this wood, all over this rock, the Nerite snails have just laid a ton of eggs. I actually just scraped a whole bunch of them off of this glass. And got a bristle nose hiding out down in there. And I assume our Hemichromis is down in that other cave down there. Java moss is kind of taken over all over the place. And I really like this look, this angle. And I want to extend that kind of down a little bit more and get some, make it even thicker and fuller here with this Anubias. And I want to replicate it over here because this guy's a little spindly, doesn't really make it very full. So I've got a couple other Anubias that I'm going to stick in there, try to fill it out a little bit. So let's do it. Okay, so first off, this guy, he kind of keeps coming loose anyway, which I didn't super glue these to anything or anything like that, which it's got that deep root going down in there. But him being tall and spindly, I figure I'll stick him in the corner. He's not going to want to stay down there, so I'll just use this rock to weight him down. That doesn't look great. Okay, got us a smaller rock here now. And I dropped it again. There we go. So that should hold him there real nice. Now we've got this guy and this guy. I don't think I want to put him over here. Oh, then again, I don't know, maybe. And then I can take this guy. Let's take these roots, stick them down here. Yeah, I think we'll leave this guy over here. Stick him there. So yeah, I think overall improvement. I do want to get more. I'd only bought the 2 plants this last time that I was at the pet store, but I think I want to just every so often buy 1 or 2 more and just kind of Anubiify this tank, get it chock full of Anubias. But that's the way it is for now. Alright guys, let me know in the comments below what you think of these espei rasboras and how the tank's coming along overall. And if you haven't subscribed or hit that bell notification, do that because we've got cool stuff coming up. I've got projects coming up in the fish room that we're going to be working on, so you don't want to miss that. But for now, I'll just say thank you guys for watching. You're awesome. God bless you, fish nerds. I'll see you next time.